Howdy there, partner, and welcome to the channel. Today, I will be talking about the Cowboys Modern Survival Guide. That's right, lessons of old adapted to the age of the new. Figure if I'm gonna tell the tale, I ought to sound like I'm a part of it. The frontier generation was one heck of a group. Many hard men trying to make their way through the unknown. It would be a downright lie to say it was easy, and forget certainty. Day to day was met with hardship. No stability at all. There are many similarities that can still exist, even though the frontier has been charted in full. And there's a lot you can learn from an old cowboy. The Old West used to take place on the frontier, but the new Wild West takes place on this very screen that you see before you. That's right, I was born in the 90s, brother. Back in the day that anyone, from anywhere, could post anything on the internet. Scary prospect, seems so. Back in the day, you could tell a man by how well he was received by his kinsfolk, his family, the community in the town, his profession, or even his faith. Nowadays, when you find yourself out here, just keep in mind, all of that has but dissipated. You have no idea who anyone is, or if their advice to you is genuine, or if they are playing a game of their own. Now, I will urge you not to jump the gun, but use your gut. Chances are, most of the time at least, if you get a bad feeling about something you see, you may want to check it out. If you think that person you are interacting with is here for your own good, that may be the case too. Trust your instincts, just like that rowdy heavy drinker in the saloon. Everyone knew he was brewing up trouble, just had to stand clear when the thunder stopped in. Now, let's talk about survival. An old cowboy knows how to survive. To survive, you need tools. Make sure you stay up to date with the tools that you need to survive. Back on the frontier, a dull knife was near useless. You always had to keep that blade sharp. Now today, the same can be said with your mind. The reliance on physical tools is not as much of a necessity, but keeping that brain in your noggin sharp will only benefit you in the long run. Wisdom is knowing how to use the tools you have at hand, but it's not just having them handy, it's also keeping them maintained. Be innovative. Do not be afraid to try new methods that others have not themselves tried. I remember back in the day when people thought sleeping under their horse was silly, but truth be told, it saved my life multiple times. Always be quick with decisions if the time allows, but if you have time to plan, make sure you use it. Just remember to stay headstrong when the plan fails, because no plans are adamant when opposition lurks, and trust me, whether you know it or not, someone out there does not want you to succeed. It's just the harsh reality of being on the frontier. If you show weakness, they will exploit it. This comes to the next point. Information used to travel by word of mouth. Now the threats to your success can be staring you in the face, and you might not even recognize them. Think objectively, not subjectively. Stay rooted in your beliefs. This world is harsh, and here's the truth. You don't owe anyone anything. There's a difference between pride and self-respect. I used to ride with a group of cowboys hanging around the saloon. Good times, for sure, but words were cheap, and truth was often very rare. People inflate stories, confuse facts with fiction, and sometimes the most unbelievable things turn out to be real. I left that group behind in an old town, not out of bitterness, but because I refused to step backward just to make them feel like they'd step forward. I won't sacrifice what I've gained. If you come out here and make something of yourself, choose your own company wisely. Being kind is fine, but don't mistake it for weakness. You don't owe anyone an explanation for your success, your existence, or your standards. Keep those close to your chest, and always remember, it's usually the smallest dogs that bark the loudest. And I would not be a real cowboy if I hadn't talked about this one. Grit. That's right. Grit. Showing that your hope lies beyond this place, even when every step hurts. Life is hard, young man, plain and simple. I won't sugarcoat it. There will be times that you are down on your luck, things turn bad, or plans do not work out. It's not what has happened that defines who you are. It's how you move past it, how you can keep pushing forward when the whole world would have quit and stopped right there. Handling stress is a skill. Make sure you have proper outlets. A true cowboy keeps emotions separate from reality. Emotions are a useful tool, and they should not be neglected, but a man should never be ruled by them. There is a real joy that comes from overcoming hard obstacles. It's a joy in a sense that is hard to describe, but once you overcome the goals you set, and push even further, you will know what this old cowboy is talking about. Lastly, I want to talk about the modern cowboy's code. A man's got to walk with a code, because a man without one, no morals, no direction, he's easy pickings. Folks with their own agendas will twist him up and use him like a pawn. Take me, for example. I'm a gunfighter, but I don't enjoy violence, not for a second. I simply believe I have a duty to my God and to myself to stand in the way of evil when I see it. That is the truth. But here's the danger. When a man forgets what he started fighting for in the first place, hate creeps in. And when hate takes over, it blinds him. Even if he still has his sight, he'll lose his way. That's why a code is a must. Respect ain't something you pass out like candy. It's earned. Don't place yourself below other men, but don't go thinking others are above you by default either. That's a lesson I learned the hard way. I got into fighting for all the wrong reasons back then. Pride, recognition, rage, ego. But I didn't become a true warrior until I realized something simple. Even the deadliest fighters, the deadliest of all, they're fighting for something. And a man who fights for ego, fame, or a fat coin purse, he won't last. Not when things get real. As you walk your code, the community will start to take notice. I remember when I told folks I was done with bounties, said there wasn't any justice in it anymore. They laughed, right in my face, couldn't believe I'd changed. Truth is, I don't blame them. But now, years down that very same trail, the very community I ride with reflects that change. Some folks even call it a miracle. Now, don't get me wrong, the community shifted some, but collaboration still matters. One man ain't ever stronger than a unit. Period. End of story. No matter how sharp or strong his aim. And I'm talking about real presence. Boots on the ground. Not just some hollow social media face with a badge and a catchphrase. Now, let's talk about legacy. And I don't just mean bloodline. I'm talking about what you leave behind when you're gone. A keepsake, a child, some land, a fortune. Or did you leave something more? Something not bound by dirt and dollars. Something that breathes even when you're long gone. That's the kind of legacy I'd urge you to build. One that lasts. That's my rundown, partner. Duty calls. I hear those cows need a ranching. I hear them mooing from kingdom come. I must be off now. Farewell, partner, and good luck.